Hey y'all. Look, I'm trying to get my Instagram to connect here also. Okay, look like it's going. Okay, there we go. We in this thing. Hey everybody. So happy Monday. We're here. I'm gonna get my phone so that I can tune into the comments because I'm going live with StreamYard so that I can stream on Instagram and in my Facebook group at the same time. Okay. So I'm trying to make sure that my live is living. Okay. So, but anyway, happy Monday, everybody. I'm super excited about this week. Y'all know we've been doing a lot of different challenges inside the group. We did the 1K in 1 week challenge. We also did the How to Get Popular challenge. And so this week we're going to be talking about all about hiring. So I'm gonna pull up my phone that way I can take a peek at the comments. Y'all know I got OCD. I mean ADHD. I couldn't even focus on what I was doing. But I'm gonna pull up the comments here. So hey everybody that's stepping in. Hey Instagram. Hey everybody that's here in the group. We're gonna talk about hiring this week. I talked to so many entrepreneurs who are like, hey, I actually want to get a virtual assistant. I want to hire somebody. And I talk to people who say they have teams, yet they don't have any of the necessary HR frameworks or resources or anything to really be calling themselves a leader and to say that they have a team. Okay. So if you don't know who I am, of course I'm Deb. What's up to everybody inside the Wake Up and Conquer group? I have y'all here on my phone so that I can see y'all comments, so y'all can see. Of course, I'm streaming with StreamYard. So first of all, y'all already know the drill. In the comments and Instagram, I know that you're new to this too, but this is the drill. Whenever you tap into one of my lives, introduce yourself down in the comments. Say, hey, let me know your business. Let me know where you're tuning in from. You never know who's watching. And y'all know I always tell you to show up for yourself. It doesn't matter if 2 people are watching or 200 people are watching. Perfect your pitch. You know, your confidence is a muscle that you constantly have to exercise over and over again. So introduce yourself down in the comments. Tell us what type of business you have. Tell us where y'all tuning in from. And then I got to tell y'all about my weekend. So y'all know I was so excited last week when I came because I was telling y'all that Conquering Cocktails was starting for the summer. So we did Conquering Cocktail Dallas on Saturday. And it was so awesome. Y'all know how it is. It's really awesome and really cool when people just start talking. They don't even know each other's name. They're like, what's your name again? Y'all just been sitting there talking for 20 minutes. So it was amazing. Hey, Shavandria. It was amazing. It was so amazing. It was such a good time. The ladies got a chance to talk. We had a bottle of rum for shots, and we just had a really good time. So I'm already planning another Conquering Cocktails here in Dallas. And the objective and the point of Conquering Cocktails is really just to get women entrepreneurs in one space where they can hang out, they can talk, they can share knowledge, share resources. You can get customers, you can get new friends, you can get peers, you can collab, all in a really, I don't want to say relaxed environment, but pretty relaxed, right? Because it's over cocktails. So when we did Conquering Cocktails Saturday, we had one of the ladies there. Shout out to Janice. Okay. Janice was dropping all of the gems about the Amazon influencer program. So we got a chance to talk about that. We got a chance to talk about business credit because we had a financial expert. Oh, there she is. I was just talking about you, Janice, and I saw your comment pop up. So shout out to Janice. She came so awesome, such a gem, so sweet. Everybody there, and Janice, tell me what you think. Everybody there at Conquering Cocktails was so cool. It was like you was just meeting up with girls that's just they on the same thing you want. Down to earth, relax. However, we want to talk about getting money. We want to talk about our business. We want to talk about, wearing all these hats. Some of us are parents, some of us have partners and spouses. So yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. It was a good time. Okay. So let's get into this tonight, y'all. She said, I love it. It was a great experience. Oh my God. Girl, wasn't it? Oh my God. It was really fun. So we're going to do another one next month. And we'll do May, June, July, August. Dallas gets 5 Conquering Cocktails this summer. So I'm really excited about that. And that's a part of me really being able, to like grow my network here. So let's get into this information. I'm not going to be all night because I am exhausted, y'all. Did y'all see the eclipse today? I did. I was like, I gotta stay up for the eclipse. I gotta stay up for the eclipse. I gotta stay up for the eclipse. I was working. I was like, don't get too distracted. But baby, you couldn't miss that eclipse because I looked up and I have, of course, I could see all through the windows and stuff how dark it was outside. No, look, I said, baby, let me go get them glasses. And so that was a really cool experience for me to be see the eclipse. But okay. She said, yes, I did. Yeah, I love it. It was really fun. Okay. So let's get into hiring. Tell me in the comments. All right. So Omifa, you're up. So hi, I'm Omifa. Shout out to Omifa. Shout out to my girls inside the Conquer Club. Hi, I'm Omifa, owner and creator of Omifa Organics, the best organic vegan hair and skincare products that work from New York. Yes, Janice is in the building. Janice here from Dallas, Texas, social media content consultant. Yes, you are. Okay. So I want to tell y'all this because I know that people know that I used to work, I used to have a traditional 9 to 5, but I want to be clear that a lot of my 9 to 5 history was me working in human resources. It was me working in HR. So I started off as HR assistant, worked as HR manager, regional HR manager, HR business partner. So I want to leverage a lot of the HR experience that I have, and I already do this one-on-one, right? To teach small business owners how to hire, and then make sure that you have the correct resources to have tomorrow night. Is it tomorrow night? Tomorrow night is a big one because I'm going to be talking about avoiding lawsuits. I worked in HR, and the amount of BS that employers did to employees that were just really dumb on their part and got them sued. I want to teach small business owners how to avoid that. But of course, I've worked in HR, y'all. I've hired, I can't even say hundreds of people because I'm sure it's way more than hundreds of people. Hired a lot of people, fired a lot of people. I've done onboarding for a lot of people, a lot of big companies that I'm sure all of y'all know. I've worked inside their HR department before, ran their stores. So I want to talk to you, small business owners. Let me know in the comments, do you have a virtual assistant? Do you have a personal assistant? Do you have somebody that you're saying you have a team, right? So do you have somebody that's kind of working alongside you? And you're like, hey, I have a team. I want to be a leader. I want to talk tonight about how to find great candidates. Okay. How to find great candidates. So I have this motto that I heard in the industry, and I think that this applies really well to small business owners. And that is to hire slow and fire fast. Hire slow and fire fast. I just want to leave that with the small business owners tonight because I feel like in this season of business, some of us can get so emotionally tied to those teammates. We learned their stories. We learned that the daddy left and now she got 3 kids on her own and she been praying for a job and it's finally this one. We hear about all of the things. Hire slow and fire fast. Above all things, protect your company. This is from an HR perspective. I'm telling y'all how HR think. Above all things, protect your company. This is going to sound, it's not going to sound terrible to me, but I want y'all to know teammates are replaceable. They are. They're replaceable. Protect your company and protect your business above all things. Okay. So I want to go super quickly over a couple of things that I want you to really think about when it comes to finding great candidates, even if you're a small business owner, even if this is your first hire. Okay. Even if you're just hiring 1 to 2 people, what are some of the things that you need to be thinking about to find great candidates? Let me tell you about some of the steps that I think that small business owners should do before they start hiring as an HR consultant. Okay. Very first thing that you need is a real job description. A real job description. I don't want a small business owner to say, oh my God, I have so much stuff. I need a VA. And then you have the VA come in and you're just like, okay, what can you help me with? That's so backwards. That's so backwards. That'd be the equivalent of me getting a job at McDonald's, and on my first day, they don't hand me a job description or do any type of training. They say, okay, look around and see what you can help us with. You're gonna be like, shit, I don't know. Have a clear job description of what you need done. Two things, right? First thing is it's going to give your teammate or your employee more trust, more organization, and then they can be more productive because you actually know what you need. And then for two, as a small business owner, sometimes we can see how ridiculous as an employer that we sound with our list of demands. How many people want a virtual assistant? You want them to create your content. You want them to follow up on your leads. You want them to find you new leads. You want them to be able to do designs in Canva. You want them to be able to find your new business, work with your collab. You want them to do all of these things that just do not make sense. As a small business owner, if you're hiring your first virtual assistant, they still cannot be all of the things. In that job description, you've got to be able to write it out so that they understand what they really need to bring to the table. And for two, so you can be clear about this VA. They cannot do all of the things. They cannot come and do Canva, do follow ups, do your social media, do your orders, your customer service. That don't make sense. That is the equivalent of them coming to work in your restaurant and you want them on the cash register, you want them back there doing fries, you want them to go back out there and sweep the parking lot, you want them to clean the restrooms, and then you want them to close up the lobby at night. Does not make sense. And I've talked to business owners, they say, well, I did it. I know how to do all that. Why can't they? That's why you're the owner. If they knew how to do all that, guess what they would do? They would go build their own business too. But they're not. They're your teammate. They're your worker. They are one piece of the puzzle. So if we go back to that restaurant analogy, right? You're not going to hire somebody and say, okay, I want you to be able to do the grill. I want you to be able to do the cash register. I want you to be able to sweep and mop, do the parking lot, and be the waitress. No. So when you start hiring and you start delegating, it's not about taking everything off your plate and putting it on a VA plate. They're going to burn out, they're going to be disorganized, and they're not going to be productive. Instead, again, if we go back to the restaurant analogy, hire them for a cashier position. You still might be doing all of the other things, but at least that's something that they can get in tune with, they can learn it, and they can actually be productive. When you go somewhere, let's say, for example, you go like a McDonald's or restaurant, can't you tell when somebody on the register that ain't normally on the register? You can tell when they short staff and the dude that normally do the fries and the burger, he on the register today, the line long, he don't know where to upsize the fries. That's what you do to teammates when you are not clear and have them in a very specific part of your business. Chaos, not productive. And therefore, they are severely disengaged and do not produce results for you. Y'all see what I'm saying? So, job descriptions, Deb, how can I get job descriptions? A really good tool for you to use is your favorite AI tool. It's your favorite AI tool. Chat GPT, whatever it is that you want to use, your favorite AI tool. You also should be looking at similar job descriptions on a platform like Indeed. Go on Indeed, see what those job descriptions are like. Okay, and you can help though make those fit for your business. Something else that you need. So we just talked about the fact that you need job descriptions. Please do not hire anybody and be like, okay, well, what can you help me with? That's not a teammate. Okay. So job descriptions. Second thing that you need that I see extremely overlooked, and this is something that I'm going to dive into more tomorrow when I talk about how to avoid these silly and embarrassing lawsuits, is the fact that you need interview guides. How many of you have heard of an interview guide before? You need an interview guide. The in the HR, from an HR perspective, as a business owner, it is risky and very unproductive for you to be interviewing people and everybody get different questions. You talk to Deb, you have no guide, you have nothing to go off. You're like, oh, okay, where'd you work before? Okay, tell me about your experience. Then next John come along, you be like, oh yeah. So and you ask completely, some questions similar, some questions are different. You are setting yourself up for lawsuits. You are setting yourself up for people to say they were discriminatory against me. And here's the thing about stepping into the role of being a leader and having somebody like me, an HR consultant, be clear about why you need this stuff. If you interview me, right? I got weave, I got long nails, I might have long lashes, and you have no interview guides, and you ask me all of these questions, and you be like, well, Deb actually isn't a good fit. And then you go interview John, older guy, Caucasian, buttoned up, but you actually like him. He was a great fit, and you decide to hire him. I can come back and say, hey, I really feel discriminated against. As a business owner, you don't say that's pure BS. Deb, I didn't discriminate against you. You just weren't a good fit. Prove it. What do you have to prove that he was the better fit? If you had no interview guides, no notes from the interviews, you simply were just picking people based off here and your little notes you had, how can you prove that you weren't discriminatory? It's not about what you know, it's about what you can prove. This is why having an HR consultant is so important. Having HR in the building is so important. Now, if you have an interview guide and it's the same set of questions for everybody, I love having interview guides where you have about the same 6 or 7 questions for everybody. You can score them, and the highest score takes the job. That way, when you can say, hold on, I'm trying to make sure my Wi-Fi is okay. That way, when you do the interview guys and I say, hey, I feel discriminated against, you can say, actually, no, you scored 3, you scored 2, you scored 3, and Jim Bob scored 5, 5, 5. Goodbye, Miss Lawsuit Hungry Girl. Protect your business at all costs. Protect your company at all costs. When you get to hiring and having a team, the idea of all of the emotions and doing the right thing and all of that, and oh, they seem cool, I want to go ahead and move forward with them. All of that goes out the window. All of that goes out the window. Not up for debate. Protect your business above all things. Have documentation. Interview guides are a lifesaver. Deb, how can I get an interview guide? Use your favorite AI tool. They can create them so good. So when you create your job description, use your AI tool and say, can you help write me an interview guide with 5 scenario-based questions and a scoring metric that I can use to find the best qualified candidates. Save them in a Google Drive file. Okay? These are the things that you can do to make sure that you're finding and sourcing and getting the best candidates, and you're not making emotionally driven decisions for your business. Another thing that you need, employee files. Digital employee files. Digital employee files. How many of us know whatever job we've had some type of employee file, whether it's paper in the file cabinet or it's a digital employee file? It's so much that you can do, especially with AI. But your employee file should have, if they had to do a drug test, if they had to do a background, you should have a form that has all of their information, right? These are things that you still have to do as a small business owner. You still should be protecting yourself. You still should be creating these processes to prepare you. If you can't handle a team of 2, then we're not going to pray for a team of 20. You need employee files. You need to keep them organized. You need to keep them updated. Okay. And I know I'm talking about a lot of the things that we can do as a business owner, but your teammates, your new employees, your VAs, your assistant or whatever, they feed off of you. They can only be as good as the environment that you place them in. Disorganized, chaotic, no SOPs, no files, no interview guides, just I like you, the pay work, come on, is a recipe for disaster for you and that teammate. They're going to be severely disengaged. They're not going to be productive. And you're going to find yourself doing this, teammates, over again. That brings me to my last thing about SOPs. Your standard operating procedures. Please tell me that if you are even thinking about hiring, you have SOPs. You've got to. Because how do you even what are you basing the need for hiring based off of if you don't have any type of SOPs? How do you have a business if you don't have SOPs? If you don't have any SOPs, it's just a hobby. That's not a business. If you don't have your policies and procedures written out somewhere where people can go see them. Do you have a handbook? You're getting teammates in a virtual assistant with no handbook. There's no rules, there's no regulations, there's no onboarding, there's no tone to set, there's no training. We cannot operate that way. Because what happens? We get on that hamster wheel. Don't nobody want to work. These VAs ain't no good. Meanwhile, we have nothing for them to leverage and be successful. Use your favorite AI tool. Create me a handbook. Create me an SOP for onboarding employees. Create me a welcome packet for new employees. Create me an email letter that I can send to people for onboarding. Create me a training cheat sheet. Create a training checklist. Take the time. Don't just go, oh God, I'm so overwhelmed. I need a VA. I need a VA. I get it. That's going to be your first reaction. But right after that, you need to say, okay, if I'm going to do this and I'm going to pay payroll, I'm going to pay them, I need to slow down. And this is not going to take long to get together. It's 2024. We have AI. Sit down and say, okay, if I'm going to bring somebody on board, what does that look like? And it seems a lot to do for one candidate, but if you do it for one candidate, now you know how to onboard candidate number 2, you know how to onboard candidate number 3, you know how to train candidate number 4, you know how to say organize with candidate number 5. Like, you understand how to start take control of the HR part of your business. Getting people willy-nilly, giving them random things, no rhyme or reason, no organization, no SOPs is not the recipe for finding good people. What's going to happen is if you're extremely chaotic like that, you're going to actually attract people who will work for pennies on the dollar and who will never be productive. Because top quality candidates who are used to environments where they can be productive, or candidates who are looking for environments to add results, they are not coming into chaotic environments. And if they do, they're going to be gone within in less than 30 days. How many of us have experienced that? When we went to get a new job and you came in, everything looked great on the outside. I mean, okay, the aesthetics is aesthetic-y. But the back end, behind closed doors, you're like, this is a mess. And when you see that as an employee, you say, I can't even be productive here if I wanted to. I'm out. And that's what people do to us when we don't have our stuff together. Okay. So the core of finding a really good virtual assistant, an assistant, social media manager, whatever that role is that we're going to add to our team, it starts with us. Be clear about what you need beforehand. Don't expect them to say, oh, well, I can help you with this and that. You need to be like, no, I need help with lead generation, managing my socials, and doing follow-ups. Don't let the VA come in and be like, oh, well, I can help with this. It's going to be mass confusion. You stay at the head. You are the think piece. You are the visionary. Stay there. Know what you need beforehand. Okay? Be clear about what you need beforehand. You need SOPs. Use AI. AI, create me an SOP for onboarding a teammate. Create me a welcome packet. Create me a handbook. Create me a training checklist. Create me an interview guide. Create me a job description. Create me an employee file. What do I need in an employee file? We have AI at our fingertips for stuff like this. We cannot call ourselves leaders and say that we're building a team without these things. You just cannot. And this is coming from somebody with a background in HR. When I hear people say, oh, I got a team this, I got a team that, and I ask them about a SOP or onboarding or something like that, and they have nothing, I'll be like, you just out here playing and just doing this. I'll talk. And it explains why you can't keep people. That explains why they don't pay for themselves. And it explains why they're not productive. And the turnover is insane. You can't even keep anybody for 8 months. Okay. Oh, we got somebody that's up next. Hello, I am Kimberly Jeffrey, owner of K's Natural Products, located in South America. I love it. Very cool. Super cool. Hey, girl. Hey, Kimberly. Kimberly, why didn't I know? Um, are you in what country are you in? So I hope that that helps y'all. I hope that that gives you something to think about. I hope that gives you some direction from somebody that has done HR when it comes to okay. You know, one of my coworkers was from there and she was so sweet. Her name was Catherine. And yours is Kimberly. So I love it. Welcome, girl. I know I've seen you here before, but welcome to the live tonight. So I hope that this helps y'all. If you're thinking about hiring, if you're thinking about a virtual assistant, and you're going to say, Deb, that's a lot. Yes, it is. Anything worth having is a lot. And for two, it saves you above all things. What's the point of getting a virtual assistant or hiring somebody or getting a teammate if you're so disheveled and so disorganized that you have to micromanage them so much that neither of you are productive? Set the stage for you to be productive. Set the stage for them to be productive. Okay. Later on this week, when I do the rest of these videos, tomorrow I'm going to be talking about those hiring mistakes to avoid, how to avoid some of those lawsuits that I've seen in my HR career. A lot of them are avoidable, like a lot of them. Okay, so I talked about them a little bit tonight, but how do you avoid some of those hiring mistakes? How do you avoid some of those lawsuits as a small business owner? We're out here talking about getting LLCs and stuff like that, but how do we protect it? Okay. I also might get into I will have to make a disclaimer tomorrow that what I give is not legal advice, but a big part of what I do as an HR consultant, and y'all probably didn't notice about me, is a lot of employment law. I know a lot of employment law. So I want to go over some of those employment laws that small business owners should know. Some of the employment laws really won't apply to us until we've gotten like 50 employees in a certain area and stuff. So some of these laws won't apply for you, but there are some things that you can avoid to avoid some small lawsuits. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow. On Wednesday night, we'll be talking about how do you actually manage your staff day to day. So if you have a virtual assistant, you have an assistant, you have a social media manager, you're bringing on somebody, 1 people, 2 people, 5 people, how do you manage them day to day? So I'm going to be giving some best tips of some best practices and tips that you can use as a small business owner for that. And then on Thursday, on the last day, we're going to be talking about the resources and technology that you can use to make all of this happen. How do you stay updated on all those employment laws? They change a lot. And if you don't have somebody like me at your table as a business owner, you're ultimately responsible. You can't go to court and be like, I ain't know about that. So how do you stay up to date on these employee laws? When it comes to payroll, what are some tools that you can use? What are some websites that you can use for easy payroll? Right? How do you stay organized? What are some tools and resources and cost effective softwares that I have? I'm going to be going over that on Thursday. Okay. So I hope that this was enjoyable to you guys, and I hope that it was informative. I know it's not as deep or entertaining as some of the other lives on marketing and stuff, but these are the type of things that are going to protect your business and protect your legacy. Okay, and make sure that you're doing things the right way. Okay. All right, so that's it, y'all. I'll be back tomorrow night, and we're going to be talking about how to avoid some of those employment lawsuits. I'm going to be going over some employment law and talking about some things that small business owners should know. But y'all already know the vibes. Make sure y'all wake up tomorrow and conquer some stuff, and I'll see y'all then.